What's up, Enduro guys? This is your program for the 9th of June, and to celebrate Leo Gang, which is going to be probably happened already since you're getting this on Sunday night, we're going to be doing a workout, a benchmark workout that we've devised by looking at the GoPro footage, seeing the stresses involved in that downhill course, and we're going to put them into a workout to get you guys prepared for some of those ultra tough workouts. This is a benchmark workout, one of many to come. We're probably going to name them like the Fort William one, name them after these World Cup downhill courses so that you guys have benchmarks with different movements going on and we can generate some buzz around that. So if you tag us in like those guys have last week on the Fort William workout, that's fantastic for us to see times. But also on social media, us sharing that's going to generate some buzz and some mystique. So guys are going to see those workouts and think, ooh, what is this? And that helps us a lot to get new people onto the program. And also it's pretty fun to be able to benchmark yourself against other people. We have the intention of doing some leaderboards maybe towards the end of the year or into next year. So these are going to sit on there as benchmark workouts. So as much detail as we can, or the metrics from you guys that we can, the better. Anyway, we'll work on a warm-up first because there's going to be 3 of these workouts all the way through with 10 minutes rest in between. That's going to be pretty difficult. There's some testing positions in here. There's going to be some options around those, but important that you warm up and mobilize well. So we'll go through that first. So warming up for this workout, it's important that you get your heart rate up, let it come back down because it's very much an intensity workout. It's a non-stop, very demanding workout. So as with these short time domain efforts, it's important that you get your heart rate super high, but also to let it come down. Before we do that, you're going to row for probably about 2 to 5 minutes, depending on how hard you're going, just to get some blood flow through your legs and get prepared for the workout. It helps mobilizing and warming up specific muscle groups when your blood flows after some cardio work to start with. So a quick 500-meter row. Then we'll start from the bottom up. So we'll do hips first, some dynamic movements. So unless you have specific, very tight areas, it's good to stay dynamic so that you're not sitting into a stretch. So some forward and back each leg, obviously. So probably about 30 seconds on each. Then face inside and side to side. Each leg about 30 seconds. And then from there, some Cossack squats. So down one side and then swapping. Do 10 each side at least. And then on your final one, just sit down further with your hands on the ground and just open up those hips. And then a bootstrap stretch, we call it. So grabbing your toes, pulling down into a squat, standing. This will be a good stretch through your lower back, hamstrings. So at least 5 of those, stepping forwards into a lunge, hands or even elbows down if you can, and then big rotations through that hip. You do that both sides for at least a minute. And then from there, in a press-up position, push down into down dog if you're familiar with the yoga position, or just chest down towards your toes, down towards the mat, straight to the front, like an Indian push-up. Rest at the front, reverse it. 3 times on that. Then, very 1990s, big circle with your arms, both directions. Find a pull-up bar. From there, free hang, 30 seconds, with a little bit of shoulder blade or scapular motion, side to side, just loosening. Hop off, 90-degree arm bend. We're focusing on pecs, pec minor. So this is probably the only static stretch that you're going to need to do before this workout. And from there, both sides, making sure that your chest, your pecs aren't drawing those shoulders forwards. And then on top of that, if you identified any red flag areas during the mobility screening, then spend a little bit of time on that, on the dynamic movements and less of the static stretching, because that may well weaken you and inhibit some of the movement intensity. Maybe some foam rolling if you have particularly tight quads, upper back, or any area really. And then moving on to the workout. So you're going to do this 3 times round. It's super intense. It's going to start with a 200-meter row. So you're going to go at a pace which is probably going to be about 5 seconds faster, 5 to 10 seconds faster than your 2,000-meter pace. You're going to get off and you're going to be reasonably gassed to start. Don't panic, but move with purpose onto the next movement. So you 200-meter row done, straight on to 2 rounds of 3 burpee pull-ups. So chest and thighs to the ground, pop up, jump, pull up 3 times. Once you've done 3, 20 mountain climbers, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then another 3 burpee pull-ups, 20 mountain climbers. Once you've done 2 rounds of that, even more gas, you're going to get to the bar and you're going to do, where are we at? Oh, it's going to be awful. 5 deadlifts, 5 bent over rows, 5 front squats, 2 times round. So the weight on the bar doesn't have to be huge. This is probably 20% of my 3 rep max deadlift. So maybe gauge it on whether you can do a front squat with this. If you struggle with front squats with the bar, you can do this workout with dumbbells or even kettlebells, and that might suit you better for shoulder, elbow issues. So you're going to do 5 deadlifts reasonably fast, and then on your 5th one, go down to the knee, bent over row. You're going to do 5 rows, nice solid back, and then pop it up into a front rack position for 5 front squats. Once you've done those, straight back down for another 5 deadlifts, 5 rows, 5 front squats, and then immediately back on the rowing machine for 200-meter row. That should all take you, should we say, about 4 minutes? But we'll see. Maybe Johnny, videographer again, will put my effort in the bottom corner. So you have a gauge of what we should be doing, but it should be between 4 and 6 minutes, depending on how hard you push. If you struggle with weight, as we said, we can use dumbbells. If you struggle with the jumping pull-up, then you can use a shorter bar, so it's just over your head height. So there are ways around scaling this. If you're going to be done in anything over 7 or 8 minutes, then reduce the time on the rowing machine and keep the quality and the speed of the movements decent. And that's that. 3 times round with 10 minutes off in between each one. Hashtag Leo Gang workout, or just fit for racing, and then we'll pick that up and be able to see how you do. So good luck on that one. Day 2 for Enduro is going to be a 30-minute AMRAP, as many rounds as you can for 30 minutes of 6 pull-ups. These can start strict and end up kipping or assisted to start with, or you can even use a lat pull-down machine. But they should be reasonably hard, but unassisted if you can. 6 pull-ups, then 6 thrusters. So a bar at no more than 40 kilos. You're going to do a squat into a press, 6 times, then 6 back step lunges, 3 each leg, bar down, and then back on to 6 pull-ups. So this is going to be a super difficult workout. A lot of it is around pacing, as with races. So don't go out the gate super fast. Get a few rounds in, settle into a nice pace. You're going to be breathing, getting ready to get onto the bar. Pick a weight that's going to be testing, so not too light. But if you don't feel comfortable in that front rack position, you can use dumbbells or kettlebells. And that's it for part A of day 2. And then part C, Russian twists, 200 total, no penalties for pausing, but try and get them done in as few sets as possible. I know some of you guys are getting these in a 1 now, which is really impressive. Such a good movement for that core and that rotational strength. And that's it for day 2. Day 3 is going to start. It's a pretty upper body focused day. We're going to start with 10 sets of 10 bench press. So pick a weight that you can definitely do all 10 sets with. You only have 60 seconds rest in between, regardless of how long it takes you to do these sets. Super high volume. We don't necessarily want super strength for 1 rep maxes on bench. That's not going to help you as a rider, but this type of volume with some pulling afterwards is going to be really good. So nice shoulder blades back, touch your chest, drive up, nice purposeful movements. A set of 10, sit up, look at the clock, rest 60 seconds, get back on, 10 sets total. Then in the middle, so a little bit of a rest, we're going to do a workout. And all you need for this one is a kettlebell. You can either walk out for 10 meters or take 12 steps. Kettlebell in a goblet position. You're going to step forwards, twist over that front thigh 12 times or 10 meters. When you get to the other side, a nice wide position for a sumo deadlift high pull. So it's important here that it's a single joint movement from the hip, so keeping your knees back. Priority is lower back safety. So nice puff chest. Drive and pop the hip. So your hips are doing the majority of the movement, and the pull upwards is momentum that you've put through, but still some involvement from the biceps, forearms, and shoulders. Once you've done those 10, you're then going to do a walking lunge back, either 5 meters on one side and then swap, or 6 one side, standing in one position and then swap. Once you get to the other side, you do another 10 sumo deadlift high pulls, and then you're going to go back again with a 2-minute rest between each round. So it's 10 meters, 10 sumo deadlifts, 10 meters back, 10 sumo deadlifts, 2-minute rest, and then go again. And you're going to do that 5 times round. Once you finish those, find yourself a set of rings. This is pretty much muscular endurance day on every level. So it's bench, workout, ring rows. So it's 10 minutes, as many as you can. Test yourself with where your foot position is. So the closer your feet are to being underneath the rings, or where the rings are hanging from, the more difficult that'll be. So the more parallel to the ground you are, the tougher. So even to the point where you can put your feet on a box. That is not a box. That's not going to work. But if you had your foot on a box, that's going to make it difficult. I should put one there to set up, but you get the picture. So you're going to be doing some big sets in that. Rest as little as possible. keep an eye on the timer, do as many as you can within 10 minutes. It's important on this one that if you do it, you record the total number, because we're going to do a workout next week that is going to be using that number, so then basically just note it down. And that's it for day 3. So day 4 is one of our favorite ways to actively recover or add some capacity to some really good movements through the day. So 40 to 60 minutes, alternating 2 minutes on a cardio piece of equipment. So going at a steady pace if you're using it as a recovery day, or going at a higher pace if you want to add some capacity to some good movement. Do all of the mobility stuff sequentially, and I like to do it from the bottom to the top or top to the bottom. So today I might do a 2-minute row, and then I'll focus on some ankle mobility, 1 minute each side, and then I'll do a 2-minute ski, and then I'll do some hip mobility, and then a 2-minute row again, and then keep alternating until you've done either time-wise